happening on Wednesday, December 31st from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Five Points Plaza in downtown Greenville. This family-friendly event will feature a live DJ, bounce houses, a photo
Good evening. The meeting will now come to order. Welcome to the January 22nd of 2026 meeting of the City of Greenville's Board of Adjustments. Ms. Clerk, can you give us a roll call, please?
Sure. Ryan Pirtle,
Here.
Carol Bass,
here.
Jermaine McNair,
Here.
Sterling Ruffin, Nicholas White,
Here.
Jeremy Jordan,
Here.
Clayton Self,
Here.
John Southworth Jr.,
Here.
David Newman,
Here.
Sebastian Cressley, William McCurry.
Here.
We have quorum.
All right. Thank you. And before we get to the agenda, Mr. Attorney, do you want to come forward, tell us who our voting members are, and give us your statement to kick us off tonight?
Yeah, I talked to Scott.
All the regular members in South Virginia will be the voting members tonight.
All right. And Mr. Attorney, do you want to give us your statement?
I sure can, yes. This hearing is an evidentiary hearing. That means it is like a court hearing. State law sets specific procedures and rules concerning how this board must make its decision. These rules are different from other types of land use decisions like rezoning cases. The Board of Adjustment is a quasi-judicial body that makes a decision concerning an application, petition, or appeal based on the evidence presented by those in favor as well as those in opposition. The members of the Board of Adjustment are laypersons, and as such, the rules of evidence that are followed in court are relaxed for cases heard before this body. Though the rules of evidence are relaxed, it does not mean that they are ignored. The board's discretion is limited. The board must base its decision upon competent, material, and substantial evidence in the record. A quasi-judicial decision is not a popularity contest. It is a decision constrained by the standards in the development regulation and based on the facts presented. If you will be speaking as a witness, please focus on the facts and standards, not personal preferences or opinion. Participation is limited. This meeting is open to the public. Everyone is welcome to watch. Parties with standing have rights to participate fully. Parties may present evidence, call witnesses, and make legal arguments. Parties are limited to the applicant, the local government, and individuals who can show they will suffer special damages. Other individuals may serve as witnesses when called by the board. General witness testimony is limited to facts, not opinions. For certain topics, this board needs to hear opinion testimony from expert witnesses. These topics include projections about impacts on property values and projections about impacts of increased traffic. Individuals providing expert opinion must be qualified as experts and provide the factual evidence upon which they base their expert opinion. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 160D 109, 160D 406, and Section 4 of the Board of Adjustment's Rules of Procedure, no board member shall participate in the discussion or vote on any special use permit, variance, or appeal from an administrative officer's decision that would violate the affected person's constitutional right to a fair and impartial decision maker. Pursuant to Rule 4.4 of the Rules of Procedure for this body, no board member shall take part in the hearing, consideration, or determination of any matter in which that board member has a financial or personal interest. Pursuant to Rule 4.6 of the Rules of Procedure for this body, no member shall discuss any case with any parties in interest prior to the public hearing on that case. At this time, I call upon board members to disclose any ex parte communications, conflicts of interest, or bias that would violate the right to a fair and impartial decision maker. Hearing no such disclosures, Chairman Pirtle and members of the board, this concludes the opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. I believe all members have the agenda in front of them. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as stated?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Motion carries unanimously, and we will move on to the approval of minutes. We have two sets of minutes this evening. So we will start with minutes of September 25th, 2025. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to review those. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of September 25th, 2025?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes carry. And moving on to agenda item 2, we have the minutes for December 18th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes as they are outlined?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
You have a second?
All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, we will approve. All minutes are approved, and we will move on to old business. First case of the evening is a public hearing on a request for a special use permit by Todd Breed. The applicant, Todd Breed, desires a special use permit to operate a tobacco shop Class 1 pursuant to Appendix A, Use 10, Double F of the Greenville City Code. The proposed use is located at 700 East Arlington Boulevard. The property is further identified as being tax parcel number 33445. Will all members that are hoping to speak both for and against this case please come forward to be sworn in, please? Thank you. And Mr. Jones, while you're standing, do you want to come up and give us staff's preliminary report?
Hey, good evening, everyone. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Mr. Chairman, I would ask, since Mr. Ruffin isn't in attendance, that Mr. Sebastian Cresley be allowed to sit at the dais.
Sure.
That way you're not sitting in the audience, Sebastian. All right, so before you have an application for tobacco shop Class 1, so you can see there on the screen, the location is denoted with the red star. So this is kind of centrally located within the city. Here's a close-up aerial of it. So it's located at the corner of Red Banks and Arlington Boulevard. So the zoning of this property is general commercial. So you see the surrounding properties there. North of it would be general commercial as well. That's the Arlington Village Shopping Center. More specifically on that corner is La Ribera Mexican Restaurant to orient you. Just south of it, that's going to be office residential. That's Worth Chiropractic. And then east is office residential. That's the Town Bank property. And then west is general commercial, and that's the Wells Fargo Bank. So the property is a 0.74 acre lot with approximately 200 feet along Arlington Boulevard and 150 feet along Red Banks Road. Future land use plan recommends mixed use for this property. This proposed use is in compliance with the future land use plan. So you can see there, notice was posted on this property. It was actually done back in December, but was rechecked on January 7th to confirm it was there. So you can see it was posted on Red Banks Road and Arlington Boulevard side. The public hearing was also published in the Daily Reflector. So also in your agenda packet, there's a definition for tobacco shop 1. So that is an establishment as a substantial portion of the use entails the retail sales of tobacco product, including but not limited to cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, shisha, unformed or loose tobacco, and or similar products. So it goes on to say, for the purpose of this definition, a substantial portion is at least 20% of the establishment's floor area and accessible to customers is used for the display and or stocking of tobacco products, and at least 40% of the sign area of the establishment. The established on-site signage that is visible from the public rights-of-way advertises tobacco products as provided herein. You also see the specific criteria, specifically the separation requirements for Class 1. The major difference between a Class 1 and a Class 2 is that a Class 2 can sell water pipes, hookah pipes, bowls, water bongs, and similar products as a Class 1 cannot. So I'll read through staff recommended conditions. These are standard conditions as in all tobacco shops, Class 1. So it shall not operate as a tobacco shop Class 2 or evolve into a hookah cafe. No retail sales of any smoking apparatus to include but not limited to water pipes, hookah pipes, bowls, water bongs, or similar products. No LED or flashing letters, light strips, signs shall be permitted on the glass, around signage, or outside the building. Advertisement shall not cover more than 25% of the windows or doors. All signage shall comply with the City of Greenville sign ordinance and will not be permitted prior to operation of the tobacco shop. No loitering permitted outside of the business, and it must comply with all federal, state, and local laws. Also, this project must meet all related state of North Carolina fire and building codes prior to occupancy. That will include a change of occupancy permit. So right now, per building code, it's a business occupancy, and under the code, it would change to a mercantile. So they'll need a change of occupancy through building inspections. But other than that, I'll answer any questions the board has of me at this time.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Jones. Does the board have any questions for staff at this time? All right, seeing none, thank you, sir. At this time, we will ask that the speakers for or in favor of this request come forward. So that would be the applicant, Mr. Breed. And we ask that you please sign in and state your name and title for the record.
Michael Gaskins.
I'm Todd Breed. We would be business partners. We would be 50/50 owner.
Okay, thank you.
First thing I want to start with is what we don't do. We do not sell kratom. I don't know if you guys realize this, that's a synthetic opium. We do not sell nitrous tanks. All these shops are selling nitrous tanks. Everybody thinks it's harmless. I've had one friend die from it already. I had another friend here in town that almost died a few months ago. We do not sell mushroom products. We do not sell psilocybin products. We do not sell DMT products. And I'm mentioning this because this is all stuff that is sold in the stores in your town. We do not sell to underage people. We do not sell synthetic cannabinoids. You hear everybody saying now that because of quasi-legalization, everybody's going to the emergency room. Some people do eat too much of an edible, but most of it is from synthetics. They're going to be, my lawyer tells me they'll be outlawed in North Carolina this year. We do not put LED lights in the window. It seems to be extremely important, even though they are doing all that other stuff I just told you guys. I just told you guys about multiple drugs that they're selling, and everybody's worried about the LED lights. We do not put LED lights in the window. You will barely be able to tell what our business is from the signage. Underage, LEDs, on-site consumption. We do not allow on-site consumption. You guys have people here 2 blocks from right here who smoke cannabis right here 2 blocks away every day, all day long. We do not, with public consumption, we do not allow loitering. I think when you see how my other ones are set up, you'll understand that we don't allow loitering. What we do, security. We have a waiting room with a locked door, which you will see. You're not allowed back until the sales area until there's somebody who's available for you. When you walk into our places, you don't just walk into a business and see everything. You walk into a waiting room with a window where the ID is checked before you go through the locked door to the back. So we are all about security. To me, it's about a business transaction. It's about getting in and out and going home. That goes back to the loitering and the public consumption. COAs, we have official hemp banking through the biggest bank in the country that allows it, which is First Citizens Bank. Every product has to have COAs. We had to jump through hoops to get the First Citizens banking. We had to prove that every one of our products had a certificate of authenticity from a DEA certified lab. The mandatory ID checks, I've already said something about that. Like I said, we don't do any synthetics. We try to buy as many North Carolina products as we can. There's plenty of companies in this state already edible companies, extraction companies, distribution companies, who we pretty much buy all our product through. They will all have COAs, and as I said, they'll all be approved through First Citizens. And I didn't introduce us first. My name's Todd Breed. I'm originally from Havelock, North Carolina. My dad was a Marine. Lived here for about 10 years. Michael was born and raised Pitt County. Dad was in the tobacco business. Just to give you an idea about us. I know I'm not dressed as fancy as some other people. I work in a restaurant in the Redneck Barbecue Lab. We're the official women's sponsor of ECU Athletics, or basketball, sorry. We have 4 restaurants, what I call 4 restaurants. One of them is a catering division. I myself, I had a legal company in California in 2014. Even though I'm originally from here, that's where people like us had to go, to do what we're allowed to do here now. I do not have that company anymore, but I just let you guys know I've been in the business a long time. And I just want to show you guys a video of a couple of our dispensaries. Pretty sure the first thing you're going to see here is the outside of Oak City Dispensary in Raleigh. The main thing I wanted to show you on the outside was the 2 lights that we put in the window. One is a green open sign. Technically it's an LED, but it looks like an old school, whatever the beer light's called, I can't think of it right now. So it does not look like an LED. It's green. The other thing we put in the window is a green cross. That's it. That's what you're going to see first. It'll walk into the lobby. We had to break it up into multiple videos because of the size of the video. You'll see me walk into the lobby. You'll see me show you the window where you got to check IDs. And then I'm going to show you buttons on the wall. That's where people have to hit the buttons to leave and come in and go out. But we have to let them in. They hit the button to go out. Somebody might say, well, how's that fire approved? Because when the fire alarm goes off, they automatically unlock. I'll just give you guys, in case that's a question. But so that's the green cross, and that is the open sign. That's it. We don't put a marijuana leaf in the window. We don't put LED lights in the window. I pretty much guarantee you that's all you'll ever see. The only other light we may put in the window is, which we stole from Jimmy John's, but is free smells. I probably will not do that here. You can see the name dispensary. Officially, our name does have the word dispensary in it here. I will not put it on a sign here. So the only thing that's going to say on the sign is Emerald City, and that's it. And that's all you will see from the outside. You can see our lobby. You'll see the window. We are about security. We are about one-on-one with the person you're doing business with, and we are about in and out. THCA. If you guys have any questions about that, let me know. It's obviously the window, obviously photo ID required. And then, like I said, we had to break it up. So this is walking through the door into the sales floor. That's where we have to let people in. And then this is our sales floor. Anybody who doesn't have somebody waiting, ready for them will wait in the lobby. That's the button you push to get out, obviously. So I just want to give you guys an idea. We're about a clean look, and we're about business. We're not about nonsense. Showing you some showcases. Just gives you an idea of what the interior looks like. Drinks, which are extremely popular. Every franchise restaurant that I know of in North Carolina now carries those drinks. Wine and More has an entire aisle of those drinks, and not one drink in this state says anything about THCA. They do that by volume. So every franchise in this state has them. Lowe's Food was the first grocery store. They just ordered a huge order of THC drinks. They do not say A on them, they're THC drinks. That will be in every Lowe's food. If they're not already, they'll be there any day. If you guys, let me know if you guys would like to see. I mean, this is Bull City, you know, at Oak City, at Bull City, this is gonna be called Emerald City, if so approved. Same thing, we're on about security, but basically the same thing, shows you the sales floor. This one thing this one will show you is the safe. We have a safe, we keep everything in a safe. But that's Durham, just to give you an idea. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any questions by the board for the applicant?
How many years have these others been open?
Durham has been open about 2 months, and Raleigh has been open about 5. We're doing great. But I have a life of experience. And
I see that, no, I do, I see that. And no, you wouldn't put distillery, or you wouldn't put dispensary, anything underneath it, it would just be the name?
So, you know, all I'm gonna put on the sign is Emerald City, and all I'm gonna put is the open sign, Green Cross.
Any additional questions?
So at the location, by the way, congratulations on, looks like 2 very successful businesses you have going so far here in North Carolina.
Thank you.
How many employees do you have on staff, and how many are dedicated towards security?
When I say we're about security, that has more to do with the lobby and the locked door. Some in Raleigh have already been robbed. One of them told us that the kids in the neighborhood came and grabbed jars and run out. It's like, well, make a lot. One got robbed the other day. So that's where the security I'm talking about. Would I hire a security person? Absolutely, as soon as we deem it necessary. Our hours here in Greenville would probably 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. probably until 8 or 9. Raleigh and Durham, especially Durham, because we're right downtown, and that's a walking area. We could maybe be open eventually till 10 or 11, and that's when we're gonna have to consider a security guard. We do not necessarily keep one on site. When I say security, I'm talking about the lobby, the locked doors. But if I'm allowed, if I have any issues, Wake County and Durham County will allow me to hire an off-duty deputy. I hope that's the way it is here, because that's who I would hire, as an off-duty Pitt County Sheriff or Raymond Police Department.
Okay. And being that you did bring up about other locations being walkable, so with this location, will the only customer parking be the area in the front, or is the area behind also going to be used for customer parking there?
There is customer parking on the side. My idea, and then obviously this has to get approved for me to find out exactly what I can do. My idea is to put a white vinyl fence up between me and Wells Fargo and myself in the business on the south side. Just run them down the back, and then on the front, put a hedgerow. That's not so that people can't see it. I'm not embarrassed about anything I do. That's just for more privacy for the customer. You know, I mean, there is 2 drive-through windows there. We plan on using them. I plan on putting facial recognition on each drive-through window. Our cameras that we use, our camera system is as good as it gets. It already has facial recognition on it. So I plan on putting facial recognition on both those drive-throughs. And it's not, you can't just pull up at the drive-through and say, hey, I want some whatever. You have to be a member already. You have to have already been inside and sign up. We don't make people sign up and give us their information, but if they want the freebie, they have to, which means most people do, plus we give them 2%, cash back on their account. So most people sign up. But nobody's gonna be able to pull up that drive-through window who's never been in there before and say, hey, I want this. No, you need to park, come in here, show your ID, and you will not be able to use the drive-through unless you're in the system. I mean, period. So, I hope that answers your question.
It does. And will you have exterior cameras and particularly the parking around the back there, once you put fencing up? The concern then would be monitoring for loitering and that turning into the hangout around the back of the facility. Are there going to be cameras 360 degrees around the facility?
Absolutely. I've got 4 restaurants. We do not leave 1 inch without a camera. I mean, lawsuits, slip and falls. If you leave 1 inch without a camera, I don't think you're doing what you should be doing, but absolutely, definitely the outside. I'm not concerned about loitering because I know we don't allow it. I'm concerned about, crime. And it's not crime from my customers. I'm just concerned about crime in general.
Thank you. That was all the questions I had.
Any additional questions from the board? All right, hearing none. Thank you, Mr. Breed. You may take a
Thank you
seat.
guys, appreciate you guys considering us.
All right. At this time, we will ask for speakers in, look, getting ahead of myself. Are there any other speakers for this case? Seeing none. We will now, at this time, ask for speakers against this case to please come forward. And as you come forward, please make sure you sign in. And then once you're ready, please state your name and position, please.
Good evening. My name is Paul Fanning. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Ward & Smith. I'm here representing a number of parties that are here in opposition to the application for special use permit. Among those are Taylor Wealth Management, who owns or leases property up the street, Monk Family Offices, who has an office up the street, P&D Real Estate LLC that owns a commercial building with Forvis as a tenant in it, Lindale Shops, which you probably know is from Kaufman's down to Bailey's, and the Town Bank. As you all know better than
Mr.
I-
Fanning, give us 1 second before you go on, because I think we need to establish before continuing that you have standing to speak on their behalf. It's parliamentary procedure, so please forgive us. Mr. Attorney.
That is correct. Are you asserting that you have standing as a party in this case, or are you offering to present evidence as a witness with the understanding that your evidence must be competent, material, and substantial and not repetitive on behalf of your clients?
Yes.
Yes, you
The
are
latter.
asserting.
We are not a party to the action, but we are interested. We are an adjacent landowner.
All right. And so if I understand you correctly, then you are understanding that your testimony will be competent, material, substantial, and not repetitive.
Correct.
At this time, I'll call for a motion to find that Mr. Fanning and his law firm on behalf of their clients do have standing in this case. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
You have a second?
All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Sure, I apologize to interrupt. He was not asserting standing. Instead, he was saying that he wished to give opinion testimony.
Okay, so opinion testimony. You-
Our clients do have-
Standing has a specific meaning under the law that would give the right to appeal.
Okay.
and
Yes,
so-
we do have standing as an adjacent landowner whose value would be affected by this
Okay.
business.
So do you want to testify as a party of standing?
Correct.
All right, so I think there's a couple more questions you may need to
Yeah.
ask.
So you contend that you are a person, or your clients are entities that will suffer special damages as a result of the board's decision.
Yes.
Will you be offering any expert testimony in regard to those valuations?
No.
You identified the entities, I believe you said Taylor Wealth Management, is that correct?
Correct.
Do you have their address?
I do not have their address on me, no.
Do you know how close that property is to the proposed development?
Within a quarter mile, right across from Kaufman's on Red Bank Road.
And do you have any evidence for the board's consideration regarding potential damage to property values?
Yes,
Where did you obtain this information?
from the owners of adjacent property.
Is that based on opinion or as opposed to any expert testimony?
So an owner of property under North Carolina law has the ability to proffer an opinion of the value that is admissible.
Are any of the entities that you identified as entities that you're representing, are they offering testimony today based on that value?
Yes.
May I just have one moment, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I know they are. I have it right here.
Yeah. They just got questions.
I just go right there.
Mr. Chairman, ultimately, it is a decision for the board to make whether they have standing. Proximity alone is not sufficient. However, it is something that you could weigh.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Given that they are included or representing individuals or entities adjacent to the property, can I have a motion again to find that Mr. Fanning and his firm have standing to speak in this case? So
I
moved.
motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. So, Mr. Fanning, you may proceed, sir.
Thank you. And what I would like to do, if it's okay, is also have an examination of Mr. Steele, and he would testify and respond to those questions. In addition, Gordon Douglas is here for P&D Real Estate LLC, and he would like to speak as well.
Okay. So we'll probably have to go through the questions and make sure they have standing as well to testify. And so,
Understood.
Mr. Steele, if you'd like to go first, I think our attorney has a couple questions for you.
It's the same.
It's the same.
So is the question related specifically to P&D?
So the question, so we've got Town Bank here and
Okay.
P&D here,
Yeah.
and I represent them both, and I responded earlier for both of them.
Okay. So,
So
Mr.
my answers apply to them.
Yeah. Based upon the board's previous decision, I think the finding of standing and to hear, I think would allow you to move forward with both who he represents as well as P&D with those limitations that we discussed.
Beautiful.
As far as
All
the-
right.
Perfect.
Proceed, sir.
As the board knows, it is the applicant's burden to prove that the applicant has met all of the general and specific requirements under the ordinance. It is our position out of the gate that the applicant has not done so. If you look at the application, which is supplemented by the videos and the testimony of Mr. Reed, it is clear that he has not addressed the specific questions that are set forth in the application. For example, there are no plans attached. He talked about plans for the Raleigh store, he showed videos of the Durham store, There are no plot plans for this particular property. There are no inside plans for this particular property. He has not responded to that. In addition, it does not say how the use conforms to the plan of the city. There is no discussion about the health and safety of the community. There is discussion in the application about additional 100 to 150 customers per day entering this particular business. But there is no discussion about how it will be safe. There's nothing about the increase in traffic in this area. And many of his answers in the application are simply not responsive at all, and they offer no proof. I would like to point out that Mr. Breed is not an expert. He is not an appraiser. He is not an engineer, and he has presented no evidence along those lines. Having said that, we are here to present our own evidence in opposition and appreciate the opportunity to speak. If I may do this in examination style, that helps me, and it may be more clear for the record and for you, okay? Mr. Steele, can you please state your full name?
Gregory Clarence Steele.
And how long and where do you live?
Live at 2300 Saddle Ridge Place in Greenville.
And who are you employed by?
Town Bank.
And how long have you been with Town Bank?
Been with Town Bank since 2018.
And are you located in the office directly across the street from the property?
Yes.
And how long have you been in banking?
38 years now.
And how long have you been in banking in Greenville?
25 years.
And how long have you been in banking in Greenville on this specific corridor?
22 of my 25 years have been at that intersection. I was at what is now Wells Fargo. I was at Wachovia for several years, and then was at what is now FNB, which was Vantage South and Yadkin, and became FNB. And then when we built the facility we're in now, moved. So I have seen a lot going on in that corridor, that intersection of Red Banks and Arlington.
Okay. What type of banker are you?
Well, I'm the market exec in town, but also do commercial real estate. And I've been in the commercial real estate. Out of my 38 years, 35 have been focused solely on commercial real estate. So apartment lending, office space, self-storage, anything building-wise commercially I've been involved in.
Okay. How frequently are you on this particular site?
Every day. Every day, 8 o'clock or 8:15 to about 6:30 or so, and to my wife's chagrin, sometimes Saturday.
And are you familiar with the other businesses up and down that road?
Yes, I mean, that was a big point of our relocation there, was it is kind of a financial institution area. There are 8 or 9 banks coming down Red Banks. You obviously have Southern Bank, First Citizens. Next to Southern, you have the State Employees Credit Union. There's Telco Credit Union, and then FNB, and then obviously PNC is in the mall, going down to Truist, and then if you head up Arlington a little farther, you're at First Bank as well. So I think it's 9 total in that area. But the area also was enticing because of there's medical, there's insurance groups, there's wealth management groups, not to mention the high-end retail, which is right across the street with Arlington Village and the whole area that was also mentioned. So yeah, it's a great, vibrant area that is all of like businesses that have always been a good attraction for our type of work.
Can you explain to this board why Town Bank decided to purchase this particular property and build this particular building?
Well, we first were here, we started the bank in 2018. We thought that Greenville was a great market east of 995 to start the bank. That location, as I said, was just something that stood out as being a great central location for neighborhoods, for residential, and to be in that area where it's kind of the hub of business. So at that time, we decided to invest in a large tract of land and build basically a 28,000 square foot office building that houses our insurance group, mortgage, benefits, and the banking operation. And we do that, and when we did that, we came to Greenville because we view that building as we want it to be something that the community as a whole is proud of, and it's a community asset. And so by doing that, we built it. We want it to, I mean, we have it, it's used, our conference room is used by nonprofits all the time. We view it as a community asset that if we are asking people to come see us, we want to be giving back to the community. And we do that in other ways also, which I think many folks have seen, but we want to be great community and corporate citizens of Greenville.
And can you tell me approximately how much it cost to build that particular property?
North of $10 million.
Are you familiar with the traffic conditions that exist there presently?
Yes, I think I've got I'm not a traffic, I guess, expert, except other than being there 22 years and being at that intersection. I know that the traffic is extremely busy. There's accidents at that intersection quite often. We can hear sirens going all the time just because the fire station is on Charles by us. Traffic count is heavy. If you leave at 5:15 and try to turn right or left on Red Banks Road, it's difficult. It really is difficult. And then coming down Arlington, unfortunately, a lot of folks on Arlington coming from Fire Tower like to try to beat that light at Red Banks, and often can turn into kind of some dicey situations also. So traffic continues to grow. That area, that intersection, I think, can be viewed as one of the busier or and maybe one of the more dangerous intersections for people trying to maneuver in and turn left and right out of that area.
And the intersection, is that a perfect T or is it slightly modified, and does that affect the sight line?
Yeah, it definitely does. It's not a perfect T because it kind of curves a little bit. Before our office was there was large hedges, and the city was very smart in making a Red Banks Road right-hand turn on Arlington be no turn on red. When we built our building, the sight lines were better, but it is not. It is curved slightly, so it makes it a little more dangerous. That's for sure.
And if there's a fence built on the property, how would that affect the sight line?
Yeah, it would hurt. It would diminish sight lines. There's no doubt about it.
Let's talk about the compatibility of this proposed use with the corridor character. Can you explain the bank's reliance on a calm, safe, and orderly environment?
Sure. I mean, I think that any bank, all of the banks, the 8 or 9 in the area, first rely completely on making a person coming into a parking lot feel safe. Safety with a bank is critical. That's why in our case, we We probably put more lights than anywhere else just for that. We want it to be a safe environment for anyone that is coming in, any of our members that come in. We want it to be safe.
And the proposed use, is that contrary to the characteristics you look for in a banking property?
Well, I'm not an expert on that business, but if I go and look at the surrounding 8 that are probably within a mile of us, we do have questions about the safety of them as compared to what we are trying to establish, and I think other banks are trying to establish in that area.
Let's talk about other tobacco shops in the area. Have you looked into at least what's advertised on the internet as far as how many tobacco shops there are within the vicinity?
I have. My quick little study on Google was there's 8 that are in the general area, so it's all within a mile, basically. The closest probably being right across Greenville Boulevard on the right when you're heading kind of towards Rose High, as I call it.
And I have circulated a screenshot of a map of this area. Are you familiar with that screenshot?
Yeah.
Did that come from Google yesterday?
Yeah, yes.
And does that identify the existing tobacco shops within the roughly mile from the property?
Yes, it does.
And you counted 8, is that right?
Right. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yes.
So to the extent this is an underserved community with respect to tobacco shops, is it your opinion that that is not true?
Yeah, I agree. That's not true. I mean, I think if anybody has a desire or a need or to shop and get this type of product, they certainly have 8 choices within a mile, one of which is probably less than half a mile away.
Let's talk about that one. Do you know the name of that particular shop?
I believe it is University Vape and Tobacco.
And have you looked to make sure that was within 1/2 mile?
Yes, it is 2,107 square feet of the, across the street from the bank, the proposed building, yes.
So 5,280 feet in a mile.
Right.
That's less than half mile.
Right.
And your understanding that is a class 1?
That is a class 1, yes.
Did you look up that particular property
I did.
or that business
Yes, I did.
on the internet? Did you
Mhm.
find evidence of water pipes, bongs, et cetera,
Yes.
advertised for that particular business?
Right. There was several pictures on the internet of their store, and it displayed in several pictures many of the pieces of equipment, I guess. That I guess is a tobacco 2 store, but this was approved as a tobacco 1.
Right, and so one of the requirements, as the board knows, is that there can be no class 1 tobacco shop located within a half mile of a class 2 tobacco shop.
Members of the board, if I could just interject briefly, I'm sorry. Just for the board's edification, just so everybody kind of knows. The business they're referencing is a Class 1, is my understanding. If they are violating that, so if they're presenting information to you guys that shows they are operating in contravention to that special use permit, the appropriate way for that to be handled would obviously be complaint, investigation, revoke their special use permit. It wouldn't necessarily to be hold somebody petitioning responsible for that. So I just want to make sure everybody's clear, because again, substantial competent material evidence, if the decision is going to be based off the violations of a property owner that has nothing to do with this, technically speaking, that would be improper. So just want to make sure everybody's aware. And I know Brian has investigated it and could answer any complaints about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. That's an enforcement issue, unfortunately, so thank you. Please continue.
Thank you. As far as the security concerns go, does a bank have, I guess, elevated security concerns about the immediate area?
We do. We have, on that acreage is probably 4.5 acres when the whole L shape of our building and footprint. We are very, very concerned about safety and security, and so we have many, many cameras and that cover everything. And so yes, anything that is a potential outside organization that would potentially affect the safety and comfort of our members coming in, and our staff also. I mean, we have 50 employees that work at that office. So the safety of our staff and our members who come in is very, very important to us.
As far as the signage and the visual impacts, we heard testimony from Mr. Breed that there won't be any signage other than the green cross and the open sign, which is that consistent with those signs along the corridor?
I guess probably not. I mean, that whole area on Red Banks and going out Arlington towards Fire Tower, or I guess more consistent and signs for businesses of that type. We believe in signage ourselves and have it on the buildings in several places. And I think that going down Arlington is the same way. It's good, solid signage that is not drawing attention or distracting a driver, let's say, at a busy intersection.
Thank you. As far as the impact on bank operations or the value, can you summarize how 100 to 150 daily customers of this use would degrade the customer experience for Town Bank and related banks in the corridor?
Oh, I'd say that number, I think there's a question of how it affects traffic at that busy intersection, most certainly. And I think that intersection brings enough attention and concern that's added vehicles or could be walking traffic that comes down from apartments also that is walking through other establishments. So it's certainly a concern. The effect, I can't really say anything more than there's concern.
Thank you. Those are all the questions that I have for Mr. Steele. Welcome you all to ask your own questions.
We'll reserve questions until your full testimony is out there. So if you'd like to proceed with your second individual.
Mr. Chair, may I interject with one statement?
Yes, sir.
A qualified expert is needed for technical matters concerning professional expertise. State law identifies topics for which expert testimony is required, including impacts to property values, traffic projections, and related public safety concerns, and other technical matters for which a court would require expert opinion rather than lay opinion. And I bring this to the board's attention under 160D 1402 that defines competent evidence as the use of, shall, regardless of the lack of timely objection, not be deemed to include opinion testimony of lay witnesses as to any of the following: the use of the property in particular ways affects the value of other property, the increase in vehicular traffic resulting from a proposed development poses a danger to the public safety, and matters about which only expert testimony would generally be admissible under the rules of evidence.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney.
This is Gordon Douglas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and other members of the board. This type of thing is new for me in this arena, but I'll do my best to not be redundant. I represent P&D Real Estate LLC, which is also one of the businesses that Mr. Fanning is speaking for today. I'd like to just speak on our behalf as the LLC and my partner in owning this property. I've had an office in our building since 1994 when we built that building. That's more than 30 years. I'm currently leasing out most of this building to a national accounting firm and a community health business, but I still have an office in the back of that building. Most of those years, I was working for the accounting firm that's now called Forbes. There were some predecessor firms that we merged in, but I was working there. I had an office on the front corner of that building, actually facing the intersection. And I've personally heard and seen firsthand many wrecks there. I say heard because you can hear them, and when we'd know something would happen. So they mentioned, but as you're likely aware, that intersection is not made up of roads that are 90-degree angles. That's not how it is. This nuance creates less than ideal visibility for many cars approaching that intersection. I always approach it with caution and with hesitation when I come to that intersection as a driver. Although I don't have specific data, it is my understanding that this intersection does appear on statewide planning reports in the Highway Safety Improvement Program as a location with higher crash frequency than other local intersections. There certainly have been serious multi-vehicle collisions that have been investigated by police. We've seen them over time. I think the special use permit being discussed would create further risk at this intersection, as this type of retail establishment with 100 or 150 more people trying to get into that spot right down in that property, the access in and out is not very good, and this would make more risk for that intersection. I have other points, but some of those have been voiced, so that's all I'll say tonight. Thank you.
Those are all the speakers and witnesses in opposition, at least for those that I represent. I would like to make a closing argument when that is the appropriate time.
Understood. So this would be the time to make the statement, and then there will be time for rebuttal, should there be necessary rebuttal to any additional comments by staff and the client that may come.
Certainly. As I stated before, it is incumbent upon the applicant to support his application with real, competent, substantive information that responds to the general and specific requirements under the ordinance. It's our position that he has not done that, and therefore it is incumbent upon the board to deny the special use permit. We have highlighted certain information that makes it more clear, but the truth of the matter is that the special use permit should be denied on its face. It does not get the prima facie recognition that would come with an applicant that has met that burden. You heard the testimony about the conformity of this particular use to the area. You heard testimony about the health and safety of this area. the security of this area. We would respectfully request that the board deny the special use permit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fanning. At this time, are there questions from the board for Mr. Fanning?
Yes. I got one. You said the estimate of 100 to 150 extra cars if this establishment was to be opened. Did you get that from any particular source, or was that?
Yes, sir.
in the
That comes straight
Okay.
from
All right.
the
And-
application.
Right. And this is specifically to the Town Bank location. How many cars come in and out every day of Town Bank, if you had to guesstimate?
I would say that we have 50 employees, so there's probably 40 cars out of that group right there. Then there are customers that come also, and there's probably 40. So I would say 80 to 100.
Okay.
Out of that. We've got four ways to get in and out of our property, because we have two entrances at Arlington and Red Banks, but then we connect to the road, it's Wedgewood, I think, that runs behind there's a housing community, and so we have access on the side where there's a house, kind of a Williamsburg style house. That's another entrance that is that road. We come off of that also. So what we did intentionally was try to make sure that that intersection we had lots of ways for our members to get in and around without any sort of burden of risk, I guess, at a very busy intersection. Another reason we built the building the way we did, close to the road, so the entrance to really get in is very much away from the street for safety to be able to go in on the backside.
Previously, that building that they're talking about used to be BB&T, right? And
Right.
would you estimate that they probably had about 100 people coming in and out a day, or?
Yeah, I can't speculate. It was a small office, and so I would think they would have less than us for sure because of it being a small branch. But,
Okay.
And they have another branch on the corner of Red Banks and Greenville Boulevard, which is a headquarters building for this area. So it was duplicative. How long has it been closed as a BB&T?
5 or 6 years, I would imagine. I'm not quite sure, but it's been closed for a while. The more than that, probably.
Okay.
Additional questions by the board?
I do have one, and this may be more for my own clarity. I was trying to locate and forgive me for the name, the second gentleman's business that they named, was that P&D Real Estate?
Yes, sir.
I was trying to locate that, and I couldn't.
Forvis is the building. It's beside First Citizens. and-
That's exactly right. It's the building between First Citizens and First National Bank, which is directly across the street from Town Bank.
Okay.
Additional questions? I have two for you, sir. So as a part of special use permit process, we vote on specific criteria. As your testimony and your interviews have reflected, you're not bringing expert testimony, but opinion. So my question is related to that. Which particular specifications or criteria are you asserting that this special use permit would violate? And I can read those off if you need.
Yep, if you would, that'd be great.
Conditions and specifications, comprehensive plan, health and safety, detriment to public welfare, existing use detrimental, injury to properties or improvements, and nuisance or hazard.
All of them.
Okay.
So again, the application that has been submitted really doesn't have a lot of detail. It doesn't have a plot plan. It doesn't show where the parking is and where the parking is not. It does not show where the ingress and egress is. It does not show the interior of the building. Those are the types of things that should be included in an application to meet the criteria, at least the general criteria. The comprehensive plan, all it says is to provide a service, help other businesses bringing new customers to the area. And so we don't think that that is responsive to the comprehensive plan. As far as the health and safety, we would argue, again, there's no plan presented. It just states that, well, pardon me, there's no proof on safety. There's nothing about increased traffic. He talked about the security inside the building, and it is certainly admirable, and it shows a lot of thought, but it does not address how traffic will increase as a result of these new customers, where they will go in, how it will affect peak time for driving. Detriment to public welfare, again, it solely says it will provide new and different services which will bring new and additional customers to the area. It doesn't respond at all to that requirement. Existing use is detrimental is the same general response. Injury to properties or improvements, all it says is the proposed business will be located at 700 East Arlington Boulevard in a pre-existing building which meets all city requirements. It does not respond how the proposed use will not injure by value or otherwise adjoining or abutting property or public improvements in the neighborhood. Likewise, nuisance or hazard, it does talk about the number of persons, and that's where I got the 100 to 150 persons per day. It states the intensity of proposed use will be approximately the same as other businesses in the area. And what they will be selling and not be selling, there will be no combustibles or fire hazard, there will be no LED lighting. But it does not necessarily respond to the intensity of the proposed use. And again, no expert testimony was presented.
Thank you. And then my second question to that is, for all of your assertions against those criteria, what primary evidence, as qualified under the attorney's statement of expert witness, are you liking or wanting to highlight in opposition for those statements?
Can you ask that again?
What expert witness or testimony from an expert witness or primary evidence are you asserting to dispute those criteria?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that seems like opinion, not necessarily expert testimony.
I agree. It is opinion testimony of a lay witness, but it is of an owner of property that is being affected. That is admissible. That does not require expert testimony. In addition, what these witnesses are talking about is their own personal observations of this particular area, its use, conforming properties, the traffic, and the dangers inherent in an additional 100 to 150 people per day.
Thank you. Any other questions for the opposition? Thank you, sir. At this time, we'll open up for cross-examination. Mr. Jones, I would like to ask you to come forward from the city, please. If the group would indulge me, I have one question for the city, a few questions for the city. Just to make sure from your assessments, I know you gave it to us at the very beginning, but it's been a little bit. The application met all the thresholds for the special use permit, and the application met and conforms to what the city would expect for it?
Yes, sir.
Great. Second question, plot plan, traffic, parking, all of those will be assessed and are still pursuant to the city code. They will just be handled during the building process. Is that accurate?
Partially. So I'll say historically, when you've got an existing commercial building, You've got change of occupancy in that. The city has not required a full-on site plan for that, especially when the land use intensity or the land use classification is not more intense. In this case, looking at just strictly parking, retail for example, is actually a little bit less than what the financial institution or banking institution would be. Just based on the square footage of the sales floor itself would render it a little bit less than what's existing out there. For calculation purposes, I think it's 200 square feet of the existing building plus one spot for 2 employees, where retail is just one spot for 200 square foot of retail sales floor area, so not even including storage area. So that cuts out a lot of the building, which would reduce it, so just for what that's worth.
And then similarly for traffic, should traffic assessment or an impact study be required through the evaluation process, that would be triggered through Public Works?
So when we get an application in, if it is complete, and when we consider it complete, we're looking at the things you're talking about. Obviously, we send it out for review, internal review. That includes traffic engineering. They've looked at it, had no issues with it.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Any other questions for City before Mr. Jones sits down?
I actually did have one quick question. The conditions that were, the staff recommended conditions, were they developed working solely with, or I guess I should say, how were those developed?
So historically, those are the ones that were up there. Again, these are recommended conditions, so reasonable conditions can be added by the board. So if you guys feel need for them to come off, be altered, added to, that would be the purview of the board.
Thanks. Any other questions for Mr. Jones? All right, thank you, Mr. Jones. Is there any additional cross-examination or questions for the applicant at this time? Any additional questions for our opposition at this time? Great. We will have rebuttal. So city staff, or any rebuttal at this time? Anything?
Mr. Chair, sorry, I might just add some clarity there.
Yeah, please come forward. Bring it on.
And I'm so sorry, you guys, we were having a tag team with the attorneys tonight.
That's okay.
Having 3 or 4 in the room is always problematic. First and foremost, I think we always appreciate when neighboring members of the community show up and they speak their mind and they tell you guys what's going on. You guys should absolutely consider that. Take that as what you may. Just want to reiterate, as it pertains to traffic and property values and crime kind of specifically, those usually require expert testimony. Mr. Chairman, you're dead on, I think, with your assessment of that and how you're analyzing it. Also, as it pertains to the application, so obviously application is part of the record, but obviously you also heard sworn testimony. All this stuff is included in regards to how you guys will make your decision, that it be substantial, competent material evidence, okay, for each kind of finding. Also, in regards to kind of the presumption that's here in many respects. So usually if special use, future land use regulations provide that this use is going to be allowable in this place, once that kind of checks every box from the city perspective, that usually kind of shifts the burden. So again, just something to be cognizant of. I know we're talking with a lot of legal stuff, but you're considering everything that was presented here tonight, that was sworn testimony. There was a couple areas that were kind of shown that usually require expert testimony. So again, I think we all appreciate their concerns. I think we all appreciate certain aspects. We're not advocating for any position here in regards to y'all's decision, but if, let's say you were to base your decision on the fact that you heard some testimony from them that stated traffic might increase or something. They obviously have that right as a property owner to kind of say that might happen, but again, no significant study was done. This is all kind of speculative kind of impact, just like crime, just like the property values, right? The court has accepted property value statements from like real estate appraiser, real estate people that have been operating for a very long time, or specific appraisals that have done like specific studies on what's going to be done. But again, it's usually something that needs to kind of rise to that level. So I'm happy to answer any other questions. I know we're kind of throwing a lot at you, but I just want to make sure everybody's kind of on the same page because I know it can be a little confusing. Okay, so you guys may or may not be satisfied with applicant answers. You may or may not be satisfied with how they testify, but you got to view it all kind of in its totality. Okay. So.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. So we are at the rebuttal stage. We're going to qualify that as the city's rebuttal and some good information for us to consider. The applicant, Mr. Breed, is there any additional statements you would like to provide in response to what you've heard tonight?
I have announced Mr. Kevin Perry give a whole bunch of opinion. The use, we're not gonna use it for anything the city doesn't allow us to use it for. The fence, the hedgerow, common sense tells you not to put it where it blocks the road. We won't do anything the city doesn't allow us to do. Traffic, how many people a day do you expect us to have there to have a successful business?
Mr. Breed, talk to
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I mean, I have restaurants. We need 200 people a day. I don't know, they need 100 people a day at least. And I don't know how many, I don't know what business they want there that's going to not be happy with 100 people a day. People are trying to make money. The application, the plot plan, we're not changing the parking lot, we're not changing the parking spaces, we're not changing the outside of the building. We may take out a couple of non-load bearing walls on the inside. Didn't really see much, didn't think a plot plan was that important when it's already there. Crime, hazards, problems, the traffic count, the real estate going down. I heard a whole bunch of opinion that I could have went and got the traffic statistics. I could have went and got the crime statistics. I could have done all that. I just wanted to relay that I just heard a whole bunch of opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Breed.
Any questions for me?
Any questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Mr. Fanning, does the opposition have any rebuttal to anything they've heard this evening?
No problem.
All right, thank you, sir. At this time, will city staff come forward and give their staff recommendation?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So in staff's opinion, this request can meet all the development standards required for issuance of a special use permit. That would be upon proper findings by the board.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. All right. At this time, we will close the public hearing and we will open for board discussion. Is there any board discussion to be had? Who wants to start?
Yeah, who wants to start? Nobody has anything to say? Nobody.
Well, my assertion at this point is that the applicant has fulfilled his responsibility as the applicant. He's worked with city staff and he's complied with what has been required for a special use permit. We do appreciate input and opinion from the opposition side, but at this point there is no evidence that would point to impacts from traffic or property values that would be, unfairly, impacted at that time. And so that's my feeling.
I'll just echo that. I'm still relatively new to the Board of Adjustment. Some of our city staff here will know that I said a lot at historic preservation, but I'm still getting my feet here. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there. I mean,
Well, I'll just say, I do appreciate the spirit of the concern, I really do. I think there is value in cities for medical districts and restaurant districts and financial districts. However, just the testimony that was heard, I don't think it's within our purview to consider restrictions or violations from other businesses and apply them here and many of the other things. It's just not, I don't feel within our purview to consider, while I do understand the value of the concern. So I'm remaining silent.
Thank you, sir. Any additional discussion?
And while I am new to the board as well, I am in the commercial real estate industry here in town, and most calls that we get are for tobacco, vape, for spaces. The existing space half a mile away, there was an inquiry for the Space Cadets space on the corner of the Big Lots Shopping Center as well. So while I am new to the board, I just want to state that there are many, many, many inquiries for this type of use.
Thank you, sir. Additional comments, questions, concerns?
okay, so my question actually is, so once that permit, once that he's in it, it's there forever, am I correct?
That is correct. Special use permit is there. With these
That's my
conditions.
concern.
With the.
So the
staff
special use permit with the,
Conditions.
with those conditions, and I believe staff did mention that we could add additional
You
conditions.
could place additional
If we
reasonable
wanted to,
conditions.
if we think that if the property sells and another business owner may come in and use this special use permit in another way that we're not comfortable with, we could add additional conditions in here now to control that. Because I think, was that what you were kind of getting at, of like, this special use
Sure.
permit
Yeah,
sticks
sure.
with the
I mean,
property
that's
no
a-
matter
that's
who
a
buys it?
big-
Yeah, I would add
That's
kind
a
of,
big thing for someone to hold.
I would give you guys kind of 3 caveats with this. The first being, yes, it runs with the land, so it kind of runs with this property. The 2, you guys can absolutely place reasonable conditions on it. You'll see one of the recommended conditions is comply with the law as well. This is kind of one of those territories where it's kind of in flux. These businesses have kind of been operating in like an ambiguous operation. It's also been kind of changed at the federal level in the last year. So there could be changes, absolutely. If at any point the law changes or it's not allowable or anything, that obviously changes the analysis and the conditions. On top of that, if there's ever a violation of these conditions, you guys would have the ability to bring it back and potentially revoke that special use permit. So just know that's all kind of out there in the ether. And I'm happy to answer any additional questions. I know it's a lot. You guys are doing great.
Additional questions, discussion items? All right, we will proceed. For expediency, criteria will be read by reference. You may call for a vote on any criteria as read. Your silence on each criteria is recognized as a vote in favor of the application. Conditions and specifications, comprehensive plan, health and safety detriment to public welfare, existing use detrimental, injury to properties or improvements, nuisance or hazard. At this time, I'll call for a motion for approval of the finding of facts. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Motion carries. At this time, I will call for a motion for approval of the petition. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. And Madam Clerk, as there was opposition, if you would be so kind as to give us a roll call for vote on this one?
Carabas,
You will respond with aye or nay on this one. She's going by roll.
Carabas,
Aye.
Jermaine McNair,
Aye.
Nicholas White,
Aye.
Jeremy Jordan,
Aye.
Clayton Sell,
Aye.
John Southworth.
Aye.
Did we include the whole?
All city, I think, are
Is it?
members.
Just the voting members.
Who was it?
Everyone except.
I think it's everybody except for somebody. in-
Right. So Mr. David Newman?
Aye.
Okay. That's it. Yes.
All right. That motion carries. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Breed, your petition has been approved, and it will be active as soon as it is signed off on by this board. Thank you for your time this evening. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, everything.
I'm going to call for a revote because I made a clerical error. So at this time, I'm going to call for a motion to approve the petition with the staff's recommended conditions.
So moved.
So moved, Mr. McMahon. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, and please give us one more roll call. I do apologize, everyone.
Carabas,
Aye.
Jermaine McNair, Nicholas White, Jeremy Jordan,
Aye.
Clayton Sell,
Aye.
John Southworth,
Aye.
David Newman.
All right. Your petition has been approved with the staff's recommended conditions. So thank you, and I appreciate everybody's patience. All right. We will move on to our next case. Public hearing on a request for a special use permit by 630 Pitt Street LLC. The applicant, 630 Pitt Street LLC, desires a special use permit to operate a microbrewery mixed beverage permit pursuant to Appendix A, Use 10II of the Greenville City Code. The proposed use is located at 630 Pitt Street, property being further identified as tax parcel 83367. At this time, I will ask staff to come forward. For all members speaking for and against, please come forward to be sworn in. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you. Now, staff's preliminary report.
All right. I'm sorry, you ready for me, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't want to just start talking. Okay, so I'll preface this by saying, obviously you guys probably know Pitt Street Brewing's an existing brewery, so recently City Council changed the zoning rules regulating microbreweries, so to allow for a mixed beverage permit. Previously, they were only allowed malt beverage and fortified and unfortified wine. So for them to get their requested ABC permit for a mixed beverage, they have to come up to code with the new standards that City Council approved in December. So that's where we're at, and I'll kind of run through everything, and then we'll answer any questions after that. So obviously, the applicant is 630 Pitt Street LLC, which is Pitt Street Brewing. It's an existing brewery. The red star on your screen denotes the location, so it is in downtown. So this property is zoned CD, downtown commercial. There's an aerial of the shot. You can see right off Dickinson, Pitt Street running in front, Clark in the back. So your zoning, it is all downtown commercial down there. So just to give you a little bit more clarity on the location, we're just north of it is the Trinity Church, Greenville. That's downtown commercial. South of it, kind of awkward, but south would be a little bit, it's a little bit southeast, but it's Luna Pizza. That's downtown commercial. Then the east would be Ford and Shep. That's downtown commercial. And west would be Greenville Bike Company, Greenville Bicycle Company, which is also downtown commercial. So this subject property is a 29 acre lot with approximately 50 feet along Pitt Street and about 50 feet on Clark Street. Again, it's an existing microbrewery, and they are wishing to apply for a mixed beverage permit. The future land use plan is Uptown Edge, so this proposed use is in compliance with the future land use plan. So you can see there a shot of the front of the building, posted notice out there on January 7th. There's also a post in the rear on Clark Street, same date, January 7th, and the public hearing was also published in the Daily Reflector. So in your staff report, you also see a definition. That's the new definition. So the main changes are going to be occupies less than 8,000 square feet of space. So they increase the space from 5,000 to 8,000. The still allows the live or recorded amplified music. The big one obviously is may have mixed beverages permits from ABC for on-premise consumption of mixed beverages. The other ones are the standard ones, or the old, just like the old definition, may have on-premise malt beverages and off-premise malt beverage permits from ABC for on-premise and off-premise consumption of malt beverages. So then you go down to staff or specific criteria. That's really where most of the changes are going to take place, other than the mixed beverage in the space. So these are going to conform to our bar standards. So we already regulate them with special use permits. So not a whole lot of difference, but they're going to just now it's kind of more uniform with our bar scene. Let's see. So then staff comments, really simple on our end. For the staff comments, proposed project must meet all related state of North Carolina building and fire codes prior to occupancy. Again, they're existing, so nothing's changing internally. So with that, I'll answer any questions you guys have for me.
Any questions for staff at this time? All right. Thank you, Mr. Jones. I think that's it. At this time, we'll ask for the applicant to come forward if they'd like to speak about their project. And if you don't mind, would you like to sign in, and then once you're ready, give us your name and position, please?
Okay. Yeah. Hi, my name's Bill Bridges. I'm one of the managing owners at Fifth Street Brewing Company. About 2 years ago, the state legislature changed rulings allowing microbreweries to sell mixed beverages without having to serve food like a restaurant would. So we immediately jumped on that at our location in Washington, and we've been serving mixed beverages there for about 1.5 years. We've been pretty successful. We have a really good relationship with ALE and local law enforcement. Late fall, I applied for Greenville. We wanted to make sure it would work first, and we did that in Washington. It's a smaller location. So late fall, I applied in Greenville and found out we didn't comply under the existing ordinance. So we waited our time. We thought there was a good chance that they might meet and make a change, and they did. I can't remember if it was last month or 2 months ago. And so we reapplied for the purpose of being able to serve mixed beverages. From a brewery standpoint, between COVID and the road construction, it's been pretty detrimental to our business. And so we're trying to be as competitive as we can. Just last year alone, our revenue was down $400,000 because of the road construction. So we're trying to be competitive, and we like the fact that a lot of restaurants and other bar types are coming down into that Dickinson Avenue area because we want that to be a destination place. So we're very happy about that. And they have the ability today to sell mixed beverages, and we don't. So that puts us at a disadvantage. So we're asking for you to allow us to do that and to make an exception for us and allow us to sell mixed beverages. That's pretty much, there's not a whole lot more to say. It's pretty straightforward, and I really don't have anything else to add to that.
All right. Any additional speakers or?
Michael, you want to say anything?
Hey, Michael Glenn, I'm the, Bill's business partner and the managing partner of the building. And just to follow up what Bill said, I think this is a growing trend for breweries to be diversified and offer more drink options to patrons. And so I think we fit real well into the Dickinson Avenue, dining and entertainment district, and look forward to continuing to be a good neighbor. So happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant by the board? All right, thank you, gentlemen. You may take a seat. We did not swear anybody in opposition in, but I'll do a final call. Is there any speakers for opposition? No. All right. Mr. Jones, will you give staff's recommendation, please?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Chair. So in staff's opinion, the request can meet all the development standards required for issuance of a special use permit upon proper findings by the board.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. At this time, we'll close the public hearing, and we will open for board discussion. Any discussion by the board? Hearing none, we will move forward. For expediency, criteria will be read by reference. You may call for a vote on any criteria as read. Your silence on each criteria is recognized as a vote in favor of the application. Conditions and specifications, comprehensive plan, health and safety, detriment to public welfare, existing use detrimental, injury to properties and improvements, nuisance or hazard. At this time, I will call for a motion for the approval of finding of facts.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries. At this time, I will call for a motion to approve the petition with staff's recommended conditions.
Motion.
I have a motion from Mr. White. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Ms. Bass. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That motion carries. Thank you. Your petition has been approved and will be effective once signed by the city. Thank you. All right. We will move on to our last item on the agenda, annual review of bars, microbreweries, and wine and beer stores operating pursuant to an approved special use permit. As per the zoning ordinance, an annual review is required for any bars, microbreweries, and wine and beer stores operating pursuant to approved special use case. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Jones to run us through the material.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. So as you so eloquently stated, by ordinance requirements, we have to do this every year. We review all of the special use permits for all of our alcohol establishments. So in your packet, you see the list of all the bars, microbreweries, and wine and beer stores we have. The review agencies have provided, all the reports are in your full agenda packet. So you see the calls for service, violations of city fire and building codes, from code enforcement, police department, Pitt County ABC, fire rescue, and planning and building inspection. So the only ones really that had any reports for us was fire and rescue. So those are annual fire inspections they do. Most of them are really routine. You can see in the report, most of them were violations were remedied. So your PD, there was a long list of those. I had a conversation with Major Montaigne, who supplied those reports. According to that conversation, there was no identified issues that required corrective actions, and at this point, PD doesn't recommend any additional conditions or enforcement actions at this time. Tim Green, also, he's the law enforcement chief with ABC Commission. He reported that they have no notable issues with any of the listed establishments. So at this point, I know you usually don't call for staff recommendation, but at this point, we don't see, based on any information received from the reported agencies, staff doesn't recommend a rehearing for any of the bars, microbreweries, or wine and beer stores that are subject to annual review. With that being said, if you've got any questions about the reports, we can dive deep into each one at your discretion.
No,
Does anyone have any questions for city staff? Thank you, Mr. Jones. Am I correct in the assumption that if we want no rehearings to occur, there is no action to be taken?
Yeah, just accept the report.
All right. Do
And
we
then
need an
the-
official vote on that?
Official acceptance.
All right.
Okay.
At this time, I'll call for a motion to accept the report as presented by city staff.
Motion.
Motion by Ms. Bass. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you, Mr. Jones. That motion carries. All right, we'll move on to the last piece. Any announcements from city?
Just, I got a brief feeling, but I don't know if everybody got the opportunity to meet Mr. Tim Birch. He is a new hire for the city attorney's office. He will be the BOA rep, so you guys luckily get to avoid having me every single time. But Tim just started with us. We're super thankful to have him. You may have noticed he already worked to try to reduce that statement just a little for you guys to save you a little time. But again, if you guys ever have any questions or can be of service, you let us know. But he'll be your guy.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Very happy
Thank you
to
so
meet you.
much. We're a fun group. All right. Moving on, do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
All right, Mr. McNair, do I have a second?
A second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
No opposed. Thank you all for your evening. Thank you.